Hello and welcome to Pest Perspectives episode number 53. I am live and direct on a Tuesday night. I have on this week Billy McPherson from Scottega Wildlife Solutions. Did I mess it up that time? Yeah. I said it perfect before the show.
You were perfect before, you just called it Scottega.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Scottega. Is that it?
Scottega.
That's what I called it before. Then
Yeah.
I usually mess it up live on the air. I do. So how are you doing?
I'm fine. It's been a long day, but a good day. Not too bad. The weather's horrific. Don't know if you can hear the rain in the background. I'm sat
I can hear it.
hammering my conservatory roof, so yeah.
I can hear it slightly. Welcome to Jason from Pest Control.
Yeah.
Thanks for popping in as always. So tell people, if they don't know who you are, what you do and who you are. We'll get into it more in a bit, but
Yeah. Billy McPherson, Scottega Wildlife Solutions. I have been in business since 2010. Prior to that, I worked for a couple of large nationals and another pest control company, mostly focusing on specialist bird control and wildlife management. But now we offer everything. Routine pest control, mostly commercial, very little domestic. But the mainstay of the business now is bird control, target falconry bird control, some wildlife management and commercial pest control.
okay.
I think I came into the industry in 2004, I think it was. Cut my teeth with one of the big nationals in a city centre, which was an eye-opener. Went on to fly hawks for a smaller outfit after leaving there. And then myself and one of my colleagues there, were asked to go and join another large national for the sole purpose of carrying out a big rabbit control contract for a very large oil company in the UK.
Okay.
The job had been sold prior for a hell of a lot of money, and it hadn't gone with, under the national company's way of working. So they basically employed us to carry out this contract and see it through, which I think took about 4 years.
Oh.
And when we weren't on the contract, we were doing specialist wildlife stuff, and I later went on, when the wildlife stuff kind of dried up, I went on to fly hawks for this national before going self-employed. So that's kind of my background. That's a kind of short version of the background in myself.
Yeah, no, that's 4 years. That must have been a serious infestation.
Yeah. It was colossal. It was up in the Shetland Isles on a massive oil terminal, which had rabbit issues going back 60 years, when no proper control, and it was getting to the stage where the infrastructure of the terminal, which I'm sure at the time, I don't know about now, I'm sure at the time was responsible for something like 15% of the UK's oil supply.
Wow.
Was being damaged by rabbit damage. So there was no natural predators. Sorry, that's not entirely true. They had very limited natural predators on Shetland. And I think the done thing back in the day was an local guy used to come in with a shotgun. But when you're responsible for 15% of the nation's oil, an old guy for the village coming in with a shotgun was soon to be disallowed. So they brought in the large national, and it really never went well at all. So we went in and gave them a proposal, and spent roughly about, I think it was maybe 2 visits a year, but we'd be out there for a few weeks at a time, just culling rabbits at night with air rifles. But the health and safety, as you can imagine, on a top-tier oil terminal was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of kickback to begin with about even shooting on the site. We had to justify it to the right people. And it was only really okayed in the end. The initial control method was going to be gassing before we got involved. And the technicians for the company turned up to carry out this gassing, which would have been a colossal job in itself. And they discovered that there was no burrows. The rabbits were living above ground because they had no predators.
No site survey.
Yeah. So on our first ever visit, we turned up on a night shift, raring to go, and we were handed 3 massive cardboard boxes full of stocks and gas. There must have been about 3,000 cans of gas in these boxes, and they're like, "They're yours, take them away."
Oh.
So
okay.
That's another story, but it went well after that. It only really went ahead because one of the guys on site, I think he was the permit manager at the time, Pete, was himself a shooting man, so he could understand the jargon of what we were talking about with regards to rifles and calibers and pellets and air bottles and things like that. I think if it hadn't been for Pete's involvement and him understanding that, it probably wouldn't have went ahead.
Okay.
And then Pete joined us for the 4 years that we were on site, night shift. Had a great time. So I think at the height of it, when we first started, we were probably removing about 900 rabbits a week.
Loads.
Yeah, it was colossal. And towards the end, when we were starting to slow down, I think we were seeing 200s and 300s at the end of the week. But I'm a kind of born and bred shooting man, and towards the end, there was no enjoyment in it. It was an absolute slaughter. It was a huge cull. The rabbits had no fear of humans whatsoever because they had never hunted properly, I suppose, for their entire existence, really, on that plant. There was something like 50 miles worth of roads on this plant, to kind of put in perspective the size of the
massive
area. It was massive, and there are still probably parts of the plant that we never got to. So there would be a spotter and the driver in the front of the car, the marksman shooter in the back, and you would pull up to a group of 20 rabbits, for example.
Yeah.
And you would shoot all 20 of them because they didn't. They were so, it was so ingrained in them that humans didn't result in fear, So you would cull 20 rabbits and a sitting there, usually where under normal circumstances anywhere else, you'd be lucky to shoot 2 and the rest would run away,
Okay.
So it was an absolute, that's what needed to happen. I don't know what the site's like now. The site's still operational, I believe, but I don't think it does half as much as what it did back in the day, the way the oil industry and stuff is. But it was one of the more interesting jobs that I've done in my career, and it was definitely the catalyst for me getting involved in proper professional kind of wildlife management. So
it's a good story. Jason, I'm just in the chat. Can you hear any? When I talk, can you hear a reverberation? Can you hear it?
No.
I just wanted to know if the chat can hear it, because I can hear it in my headphones. It might just be my headphones. It might.
Sounds fine to me.
Yeah, I'm sure Jason will tell me if you can hear it. But it's in my headphones. I can hear a little bit of. It's probably nothing. But Roger bugging me. It is. But no, so that was the catalyst for wildlife management.
Yeah. But
When
I've done a fair bit before that. I mean, I grew up like a lot of the guys in the industry, hunting, fishing, shooting. In my younger days, when I was a teenager, my weekends were spent snaring rabbits and catching mink and squirrels and all sorts. So I had a fairly good grounding.
yeah,
Even compared to a lot of the guys who I met in pest control, wildlife management and professional, especially commercial pest control, is still a very, very limited kind of field out there of guys who are quite capable, let's just say. If everyone seems to have done a bit, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But, very, in the grand scheme of things, very little.
Yeah, there doesn't. Oh, God, that thing's annoying me. I've tried to fix it. Jason said it's just a tiny bit. But so what initially got you into pest management in the first place? When did you apply to be a technician somewhere? Is that?
Yeah.
Did it look like a good job? Did it?
It sounded like a good job. It's something that had been on my mind. I was working in a call centre at the time.
Okay.
Selling car insurance.
Okay. Yeah.
Which was just awful. It was the worst job ever. And before that, I had worked in a parts department in a car garage, which again was just mind-numbing. And I had seen an advert, one of the nationals, advertising for a pest control technician in Edinburgh city centre. And
okay.
I don't think I even sent a CV in. I think I literally wrote a letter of introduction on an A4 piece of paper.
Okay.
And sent it in, and I got an interview a fortnight later. And interview went well. They were looking for someone who had a kind of animal management kind of focused mind, which I had done with my hobbies at the time: hunting, shooting, fishing, a fair bit of trapping. That's exactly what they were after. In fact, the chap who, I'm not going to say his name, but the chap who first employed me in that initial role was the same chap who ended up jumping ship and headhunted us to go and do the big rabbit kill.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, he definitely seen something in us, and I believe he's a top tier director now for the company that he works for. So, not seen him for a long time, but yeah. So I got offered that job. And I think that's where once I was in the door a few weeks, it soon became apparent to me that I had an idea in my head what commercial pest control was compared to what it actually is. It was a bit of an eye opener.
You mean box kicking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just that, just how commercial pest control works. It's extremely sales focused, and that was a shock for me. And I expected most of the technicians who worked for this company to be really expert. What's the word I'm looking for? Expert examples of myself, guys who had a bit of experience growing up hunting, fishing, shooting, and that wasn't the case at all.
No.
And it probably still isn't the case with a lot of these bigger companies. I'm not going to get controversial, but I mean they do have them. I think a lot of the best technicians come from the same kind of background. A lot of good technicians don't, but I think it helps. And I've seen technicians at that company and subsequent companies that I've had dealings with have technicians that had been in the industry 20 years, 30 years. And knowing what I know now, I still wouldn't trust them to solve a remotely difficult rat or a mouse issue, I I think we're just one of those industries that I don't know, because so much it is pest control focused and so much it is sales focused. Non-pest controllers can exist in this industry fairly easy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I do pest control and my commercial stuff. I'm not the best of sellers. So I just, I offer them what we've got, and I'm not the best at selling. But imagine the place you came from, they wanted you to be amazing sellers. They did.
100%. Yeah. And that's still the case. I mean, I've got friends who are colleagues in the big nationals, and nothing's changed. If anything, it's got worse. And one of them actually jokes that we're not actually a pest control company. We're a sales company who does pest control. And there's a lot of truth in that. It's something I actually said when I first started, and it was especially kind of prevalent for what I was doing because I was city centre based. There was a lot of national accounts there. There was a lot of close knit, tight together customers with all different shapes and sizes, and it was really interesting to see the approach that the company had to dealing with them, customer service, if you like. Are you back with us? No, it's not working.
Hello.
There, you're back.
Here we go. Has that fixed it? Hello.
It sounded all right to me in the first place. I don't know about everyone else.
Master. I'm just saying that. I don't know why. No, I can't really hear that, but whatever it was now. So when I thought I'll unplug it and I'll plug it back in. Actually, just seen, you all laughed. The microphone fell off in my hand. It did. I'm holding it like a mic now, but no, you are right. So you kind of mean that sometimes companies take on people that ain't really got the skills, but they're just willing to go and open boxes and just check it. That's it. And not problem solvers as such.
100%. And it could be argued, and it has been argued before, that there's a place for those guys as well. It's not an argument I agree with, but I think when I was on the podcast with Shaun Muller that we talked before we came on, that was something that we discussed, that usually in any business you get two types of technician. You get your box checkers and you get your killers. And I don't know if it was Shaun or Alex says, both of them have their place, which I don't totally agree with that. I think a box checker should be able to tell you out with a box that if there's a possible pest issue, which your killers 100% are because they're looking out for it, And I especially think with the incoming AI, which is probably going to change all industries, including ours. It's my personal feelings that if you're a box checker in our industry at the moment, you're probably not going to be in a job for very long, the way AI is coming in, because, if you're lifting a box to fill in a PDA or paperwork, it's going to be a thing of the past soon,
To a degree, but a lot of these systems... Oh, it's back again. Doesn't matter. A lot of these systems... So say you're doing commercial premises, they will only get that kind of technology at the high end, because these systems are not cheap. These are expensive systems. I've trialed one. And I wasn't the greatest fan of it, but I tried it. But it's the cost factors involved.
I don't think the technology is quite there yet either, especially for us. It's not quite... The technology probably exists. But it's not available. Certainly any of the systems that I've seen, do not do what I would want to do before I invested in it. And like you say, when everything comes fresh on any market, tech-wise, it's always very expensive.
It is. I mean, I use AI for to help me. I mean, I'm not the best at writing, etc. It makes my pest control reports and what I say sound a lot better. Okay, that's cheating, but everyone's doing it. It makes it sound better. I'm not the best at writing. I'm not.
It's not cheating at all. You're using a tool which is available to you to make your service more professional. You know.
Yeah.
It's not. If anything, you'd be cheating yourself by not doing that. You know.
Well, to be fair, the app I use to do it has just introduced AI as well, so you can use it as well. It's only in the sense of writing your report. You've got to tell it what you want to say, and I just go rewrite, and it rewrites it more professional.
Yeah. I use Shaun Muller's software for my report writing.
Oh, nice.
And obviously it's completely designed to be adapted to your own business.
He's got a memory bank. I've trialled it. I think that's incredible, that memory bank.
It really is. But I mean, I've introduced a lot of my own stuff on there, which is specific to the type of work I do, my clients, and even my clients' individual sites, you know.
Yeah.
And I've used AI to help me with that, you know. Give me, for an example being, you know, create me 20 bullet points to be included on an environmental risk assessment for a waste management site, you know. It's fantastic for that. And then you just adapt it to what you need, you know.
You're definitely right, because I don't know if a lot of my listeners have noticed that if you see it says Pest Perspectives and AI Insights, that's what the podcast is called, but the reason that's there is AI picks it up better. Because I do talk a lot about AI as well, but AI it's in there for AI picks it up better. But I do talk about AI, not every episode.
Yeah,
but it is an important tool. If you learn how to use it correctly, because it's a learning curve. You've got to get it. To understand the way you write it. It does make mistakes, so you got to proofread it as well. It does.
100%. Yeah. But I mean, it's only going to get better, you know.
Yeah.
It's only going to get better, and it's only going to get more useful. And when this technology comes, which it inevitably will, going back to my kind of original point, your box checkers, in my view, will be defunct. You know. I can genuinely see a time, maybe in the next 10 to 20 years, where it maybe does cost jobs on, you know, with the big national companies. A lot of them probably are quite top heavy just to have coverage in certain areas, you know. And I'm not going to I might get a wee bit controversial. You know, they promise their customers that someone's going to turn up within 24 hours of a call out, or 12 hours, maybe even.
Yeah.
As far as the customer's concerned, that person turning up is a pest control expert.
Yeah.
And by the way, I was that guy as well at one point. You know, when I first took that job in Edinburgh City Centre, I was getting call outs for things that I had never heard of. And you were walking into sites with customers who were anxious, expecting answers, you know. So I'm not criticising, but that happens a lot, still happens a lot. So I think there's going to be big changes. AI is going to completely change that, I think. I think surveyors, I could be wrong here, and somebody might jump on and tell me I'm wrong, but I think already surveyors who work for one of the big nationals have a tablet. And for example, if they go to Shaun's house for a bedbug infestation and they're only 2 days in the door, they literally press the button on domestic bedbug job, and it gives them all the questions to ask, all the solutions to offer, and all the prices. They're in front of them. And all they do is
I can believe that,
produce a quote in a way. So they sound like experts when they're talking.
Yeah, it's all there.
Because it's all there. And that, even that side of AI will probably come into it, if it's not already into it, for the technician as well.
Yeah.
So the only difference then is going to be between the guys who have got their tablet, their box checking, and the guys who have got field experience.
Exactly. Yeah,
Um,
because we're
yeah,
starting to explore into. Got a drain camera now. Going on David Brown's course on Thursday. We're
yeah.
starting to play with that and offer that soon.
You'll enjoy that. I done Davy Brown's course a couple of years ago, and it's and obviously Shaun does a fair bit with drainage as well.
He does. He talked about it on the other week.
Yeah.
That Shaun came on, didn't he? I think it was episode 50.
Yeah.
Shaun Mooney, the influencer. Is that right?
The influencer Shaun Mooney. Yeah. called himself that. I'm just repeating what you told me.
I know. But no, it's no, we're doing that. That's more problem solving, hopefully. But you got to try these things, haven't you?
No, and definitely, if it's another string to your bow, which you can offer your clients, it kind of frightened the life out of me, to be honest. Drainage is like a little industry in it, all in its own.
It is, yeah.
And like our industry, there seems to be not everyone's doing it very well.
Yeah.
I thought about it, and I actually thought about setting a guy up to do drainage on my behalf, as part of the company. But it's and Shaun Mooney probably will disagree with me here mostly, but you're almost borderline going into property maintenance with that kind of thing. When you need to start doing dig-ups and repairs and stuff, it's all very well telling your client that they've got rat activity because they are breaking their drain.
Yeah.
But they then want you to fix it and repair it and it to be off standard and things.
You can do, because Shaun does it, you can offer, so say you got a crack.
Yeah.
You can offer the patch lining, which doesn't require a dig.
Yeah.
But I don't think Shaun does digs. I think he gets someone else in.
Yeah.
When it's that kind of level. But not all of them will require a dig.
Yeah. My brother's a drainage contractor, a drainage technician for local authority here.
Does he believe that rats live in the sewer?
Yeah, only because I've told him.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of them don't.
But yeah, if it's something that you do and get good at, I mean, what an income stream,
Just have to see how it goes. We'll try these things. We'll see what happens.
I speak to local pest controllers up here who I'm friendly with, and the number of times where we could really use a good drainage guy to come up and camera a job, and not only camera the job but fix it, because we know that it's a drainage issue. 9 times out of 10 that's not hard to tell, but where the drainage issue is and how to fix it is 2 different things. And I didn't want to burst Davy Brown's bubble, because you'll hear about all this when you go on his course, but a lot of the drainage companies just try to bounce it back to you. They want the quick camera money. They didn't want the hassle of having to fix the repair. So 9 times out of 10 they tell the client that there's nothing wrong with their drains.
Yeah, because he even mentioned it on the did he? I can't remember, because I went to a Kilburn workshop last year and he was doing a talk there, and that's what made us want to do his course.
Mm-hmm.
And he said what they don't tell people is your drains are fine, but what they should say is our drains are fine. I don't know about your private drains, but they don't say that, do they?
That's right.
And they think their drains have been surveyed when they haven't.
Yeah.
They just said we only do our drains. Your private drains, I have no idea, but they don't convey it the right way, do they?
Yeah, absolutely. It's again.
But one thing he did say though, he done a survey with I don't know which water board it was, and he was writing down notes from each a certain survey over a period of years with a water company. I don't know which one. And they found that 99% of the fault, 90% roughly, were actually always in the private drain and not the water company's drain.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I can believe that. Because I mean, the private drains are where all the movement is going to be. People lifting and laying drives and building extensions and all sorts, So
Definitely
I could believe that, no problem. You'll enjoy that, though. It's a great course.
I will. I'll let you know what I think of it. I will.
Yeah, definitely.
So, wildlife management, what does it involve? Let's give people, if someone wants to get into wildlife management, because there are people out there, and not everyone wants to do normal pest control. Because, like, I got a friend who does a lot of farms. He does he uses his dogs. He shoots, etc. He loves it.
Yeah.
But what kind of things do people need to think about when doing it? Because it's not just a case of just going and shooting. You've got to have a plan and everything.
Absolutely. It's like everything else in pest management. It's so diverse, wildlife management. It can be from mole control in a domestic garden in the middle of a town centre to large-scale mole control on a country estate or a farm over hundreds or thousands of acres. And it can be from roe deer management, red deer management. There's 6 species of deer in the UK, all which have no natural predators and need to be managed by man. It's so diverse, and people who usually do it professionally and commercially usually have some kind of background in it. I don't know anyone who's got into, for example, deer management. It's probably one of the most complicated aspects of wildlife management that there is in the UK with regards to legislation and equipment, and the laws are different in England than they are in Scotland and Wales, and Ireland and stuff. You really, most people coming into it and offering it as a professional paid service, because a lot of recreational shooters offer deer management as well for landowners and people who would need it. Where the pest management industry would come in would be for your large clients such as like Network Rail, large
National Trust places like that.
National Trust, big outfits like that. But 9 times out of 10 people would have a hunting shooting background. If someone who was already in the industry fancied getting involved in it, the only really thing that I would recommend is they really put some time, money and effort into going out with a professional. Doesn't need to be a pest professional. It could be a stalker on a large estate somewhere, or even anyone who offers recreational stalking. You will learn so much off of these guys rather than out of a classroom. Saying that, you get your deer management qualifications now, 1, 2 and 3, I believe. I think 3 is relatively new, which teaches all about field craft to equipment, meat handling, because obviously deer meat is a commodity, it's an asset. It's not just to be disposed of. It usually enters the food chain. So you've got that side of it. It really is. And again, deer management's just a very small part of it. Probably the most common thing that your routine pest controllers would get involved in, wildlife management wise, would maybe be urban foxes, bit of rabbit control, squirrels. Most people have probably dealt with squirrels. If people have got a method of dispatching foxes or know someone who can dispatch foxes for them, they might offer fox trapping, live catch, cage trapping, or shooting if the area allows it. So it's so diverse. Probably everyone in the pest control industry, even if they don't have any wildlife management experience themselves, they probably know or have met someone at an industry event or something that does. So I would probably encourage them to, even just to get a better understanding of it. See if they're not going to offer it. It's always, I mean, the shoe on the other foot. I don't do a lot of insect stuff at all. It doesn't interest me. I didn't know a lot about it, so I usually don't offer it.
You're just like Andrew McDonald's that owns UK Patangs. I don't know if you know him. You don't?
Yeah.
He does wildlife management like yourself. He doesn't really do insects.
Yeah. If it's not bird related or like pest control, like routine pest control. We do a lot of rodents. We do a lot of waste management sites for bird and pest control. But insects, I find it boring, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. But I do like talking to these guys, entomology guys and stuff, because it's something I didn't know a lot about that I probably should. Even just to understand a bit more for people when people are asking me advice. I should know where to send them.
Well, you don't. If you don't get any calls for it, and it's not your field, because they always say pest management is an industry you can specialise in.
Yeah,
and you've definitely done that, because it's like my mate Sam. He came from, like you say, gamekeeping. So there you go.
Very common.
So,
very common.
And everyone I talk to there's I think so far, most of them have come from something like working on a farm or gamekeeping or something like that.
That's a bugbear of mine, which I do understand it and I don't. I don't know how our industry and our industry leaders and the large organisations are pushing more to recruit from like the agricultural colleges, the animal studies, the environmental studies, They seem to have a big drive for recruiting graduates from university, but these graduates could be graduate in forensic science, for example.
Yeah.
Just because it's science-based, I get it. These people are academics and they can turn their hands to a lot of things. But I think I would much rather have someone who had done animal or environmental studies at agricultural college.
I will take note. I will mention this to the MPTA because I'm obviously on the board.
Yeah.
I'll mention this. I will.
Yeah, tell Big Q I said that.
And
I think by recruiting the wrong graduates to the industry as well, we kind of risk becoming a kind of stepping stone industry.
Yeah.
These graduates come straight from university. The industry is usually their first period in employment, earning money, and they then leave the industry and all that knowledge that has been imparted on them, and then they go into bigger and better things. I've seen it at the nationals that I worked for all the time. All the time, they would last 2-3 years and they would move on. And I think it's a real opportunity that this industry is missing just by employing the wrong people. But it also looks great on your kind of resume that you've worked in pest control, and it looks great when these national companies are selling pest control to their national customers that they've got, a PhD student coming to do their bio visit,
Yeah.
Even although they might be a PhD student and something daft,
Well,
I think we're missing a trick. I really do. I think we're missing a trick.
Yeah, I will make the suggestion.
Yeah,
I will, and many other people listen to this podcast, so who knows who else could look into it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a very good point. Only bit of wildlife management I do, and all domestics would be squirrels and moles.
Mm-hmm. And how do you find the mole catching and stuff? Did you take to it quite easily?
When I did believe it or not, when I first started out in pest control back in 2020, well, more 2021, the month after I got into it, my dad had broke my knee. So more 2021. I didn't do mole control. When we did jobs, my dad did them because I wasn't interested. But it was only after I did my RSPH level 2 award in pest management, I got to know a guy called Scott who kept telling me mole control's great.
Yeah.
And after I actually passed it, so a second time round actually it was, because I failed too, but I did it in the end. Started to do it, and I do like it. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I've had one job so far this year, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
was it domestic stuff? Domestic gardens?
Mainly domestic. I did do one farm though. It wasn't a big area though compared to you probably do acres of it. This was only little. Yeah. But generally, I try and stick to domestic now. Really. I haven't got all the quads and all the. I haven't got all that. I
Yeah.
haven't.
The domestic mole control stuff is usually more profitable than the agricultural stuff.
Well, yeah, because I've heard some of the prices farmers think you should pay. I'm only paying you £5 a mole if you catch one.
Yeah.
Come on, we're not. It's not.
Yeah.
I won't even entertain it.
I've known a guys driving 30, 40 miles to do a mole job, and it turns out to be like 4 moles in a 10-acre paddock.
Oh,
and they're charging a tenner a mole, and they're there 3 times.
That's ridiculous. That is
crazy. But
that's where mole catching gets undervalued. That's why people think. We get people now that think, "Oh, that's too expensive. I thought it'd be about £50 all in." I said, "You having a laugh, haven't you?"
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say it like that, but I said there's fuel back and forth, etc.
Yeah. I think we're majorly undervalued, and people's interpretation of what pest control is, if they're not in our industry, is massively undervalued, and I don't think it helps itself by some of the prices that get charged, and that's not even at the bottom levels of small companies, right up to the large companies do it as well to secure work. They almost pay to do pest control for certain clients just to get a relationship with them to then take it further. But I think we're our own worst enemy where that's concerned.
Well, recently I've tried to, with my company, even though we are Oakham Pest Control, I've tried to, on social posts, etc., I've tried to explain we're more of a public health pest management, explain why we do it. And people are finding it more interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think that's an angle. If you keep saying public health, they might get it.
Yeah.
Because it's not, it's like you do mentioning deer management.
Mm-hmm.
We could do with, be honest, we could do with DEFRA or whoever's in check, whatever it is, putting out some adverts and actually educating the public as to what happens. But they don't. They get, oh, bless them, leave them alone.
Yeah.
But they don't educate the public about the dangers of not being managed.
No.
That's the problem.
No. The typical government agency, though, innit? They don't want to be involved in any type of negativity whatsoever. Even if they protect public health.
Exactly. It's there's no to. Yeah, but it's one of those things, isn't it? I don't think they're going to change, but
no. I think something needs to change with pricing.
Oh, it does. I agree.
I mean, there are contracts out there now, which are now probably getting serviced at the moment for less money than the same contract was 15 years ago.
Some of them do go far too low.
We seem to be the only industry that is in a race to the bottom, and the larger companies, as I say, are just as bad at it. Sometimes
it's weird because sometimes the national companies either go too cheap or too expensive.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Jason has asked, is there any wild pigs in Scotland?
Yes, there is. They are in the north of Scotland and they're down in Dumfries and Galloway, and they're making haste rapidly everywhere.
Right. Is he on about wild boar or just wild pigs?
Yeah, he's talking about wild boar probably, but technically, because wild boar were eradicated in the UK completely at one time, everything that is now there essentially is a wild boar and looks like a wild boar, but they call them wild pigs.
Oh, I see.
Nature Scott, who is our version of Natural England, is currently having an absolute nightmare trying to contain wild boar in some parts of the north of Scotland.
You're psychic, Jason. He's psychic because he just asked, is there a problem? And you straight into it. Psychic.
Yeah. And they're trying to... Nature Scott, to put you in the picture, and I am going to get controversial now. Nature Scott, in my opinion, is run by animal rights people. they used to be very pragmatic back in the day with regards to licensing, wildlife management, etc., etc. But like what we just discussed with graduates coming into our industry,
Yeah.
Nature Scot and probably Natural England and a lot of the government agencies as well are now employing a lot of graduates because they can pay them.
People with no experience don't know what they're talking about, basically.
100%. So they're currently having a nightmare trying to contain the wild boar population because they don't like culling. Rather than encouraging the recreational stalkers and shooters in Scotland to go and shoot wild boar, they're doing daft things like making big pen traps for them and trying to corral them in and basically trying to pretend the problem isn't happening.
Wow.
But it very much is happening. They will be throughout Scotland prevalently, probably in the next 7 to 10 years. Which I can't wait for because I like eating wild. So
I reckon we'll obviously might see a story in the news soon with a load of wild boars storming through a village or a town or something.
Chasing people's dogs.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's different here in Scotland as well because we've got open access compared to you guys. So the public are everywhere, you know.
I see what you're saying. Right. What do you mean that anyone can walk anywhere? Do you mean?
Anyone can go in it. It used to be called the right to roam, but then it got taken too far and people were really abusing it. So now it's called open access. You've got a right to have responsible access on any piece of land. So yeah, people can walk anywhere here. Hills, mountains, farmland, you name it. You really can't lock a gate or fence something off.
So you obviously with that, if you had bulls, you couldn't put them in the field because they could get attacked.
Yeah. People have been attacked in Scotland. There was a thing on the news last year. I think it was last summer. I think they had to trap like 40 wild boar, which were running amok on the edge of a village. And someone's horse had been injured, someone's dog had been injured, someone else had been injured. And that's only going to become more common. You see evidence of this in Europe, France, and Germany, where wild boar numbers are through the roof. You know, it's very common for dog walkers to be attacked and stuff. That's coming here big time, and it's kind of all through your government agencies not really wanting to pull the trigger, if you like, literally.
Here's one for you. Someone asked me earlier because they found out you were going to be on. What is the situation in Scotland for glue boards? Is it an outright ban? Is it like England, a license?
Fun enough, this came up at our BPCA conference 2 weeks ago. As far as I was concerned, I never used them a lot anyway, and as far as I knew at the time, they were gone, they were banned.
Yeah.
But we were told then that at the moment in Scotland, we can still use them. But the same, I think Scotland copies a lot of the English legislation. Nature Scotland and Natural England work very closely together, so there's
not as much not as closely on certain things.
Yeah.
Pick and choose what they want. Problem is, England looks too much at California. They want to pack it in.
Yeah. So at the moment, we can still use them, but I think their days are numbered, to be honest.
Yeah, they probably are. I mean, I don't. Yeah. We had them, but we never actually did anything with them ever because it was.
Yeah, I think we're all going to be under scrutiny very shortly anyway, regardless of clue boards, with the government's new animal welfare strategy that they're looking at. Everything from.
Sorry, I can smell something burning. Sorry.
Oh, God.
I can still hear you. Carry on talking.
Yeah. Everything from spring traps to mole traps, live catch traps, is all in the process of going to be getting looked at. So I think, in all honesty, clue boards are the least of our worries, which are coming, to be honest.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that was one thing I wanted to ask you about as well. About the Hunting Act 2004 that's going to be reviewed or looked at, because along with that, they're reviewing all the traps apparently.
Yeah.
They are.
It's already different in Scotland than it is in England at the moment.
Yeah.
So hunting with dogs is completely banned in Scotland.
What you can what? Not even for rats.
I think rats you can still kill with dogs.
Okay.
Rabbits you cannot.
Yeah.
Anything like that. The fox hunting thing was completely stopped. I think you can still apply for a license to use 2 hounds to flush a fox, which if you see some of the forests and landscape in Scotland is pointless. You know.
Was it completely outlawed in Scotland? I mean, officially, because it was here, but everyone said, "Oh, it was banned. It was banned." And if you look up the statistics in England, numbers went up.
The difference between Scotland and England was Scotland had that 2-dog rule.
Oh,
you can still. I mean, in England, fox hunting with hounds is still banned. You know, it continues.
You wouldn't think it though.
No, you wouldn't.
They won't go there, but they won't go and arrest Lord and Lady Lieutenant or whoever they are, will they? They're rich people. You see,
there's been a few. There's been a few high kind of profile prosecutions, but you usually find they didn't get.
Slap on the wrist.
Yeah,
probably get slap on the wrist.
Yeah, but I didn't ride a horse, but we used to follow a foot pack back in the day, and we used to shoot foxes that were flushed by hounds, and sometimes the hounds would catch them, and 9 times out of 10 they never. It was an effective method of control over large parts of really, vast terrain where you would get lost for days.
Oh wow!
And never, traps and shooting and things were limited value, and really packs of hounds were the only thing that was really going to be a viable method of control, and that's gone now. That's gone. So, and they can talk about it being animal welfare. I think this was spoken about in another podcast as well.
Yeah.
I know Mr. Mooney's feelings on this. Very similar.
Oh yeah, they had a whole podcast on that. They did.
Yeah. I think no way was it all. It's nothing to do with animal welfare. It was class. It was class warfare, really. Yeah. And the only people who really would lose out on it would be the working class man who worked for the rich people,
Yeah.
And a good tool for pest control, wildlife management, and biodiversity.
But it's so far what they're talking about for dogs, for rats and mice they're not included. They're not talking about that. They're not.
It's the same as they're not including in the review of the traps which they've announced.
Yeah.
They've not included snap traps for domestic use in that review.
Okay.
Now, you'll know as well as me, Shaun. Some of the worst animal welfare I've seen in my career has been at the hands of Joe Public with snap traps.
Oh yeah. It's like I always laugh when I say go in the customer's house and they go, "Who's bought that then?"
Yeah.
Oh, I did. So I said, I'll take it out. I said, "You can have that back, or you can put it in the bin." Why? Well, it's humane. I said, "It's not humane."
Yeah.
I says the idea is, I says it's nice, but it's most people stick it in their loft or wherever and forget about it.
Yeah.
You're supposed to keep checking it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they have to sell the humane ones, because they're not humane.
Yeah.
They're not, because a lot of customers I go, "Oh, you've got an inhumane trap hit." What? I said, basically it says humane on the box, but I says it's inhumane. What's that then? I says, "Have you read the label on this?" No. I said, you're supposed to check this regular, and I mean regular. No, I didn't read that, but none of them read the label, do they?
Yeah. So they're not being reviewed, but we are.
No, well, yeah. But yeah, they're reviewing mole traps, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Well, no.
If there's one trap on the market available anywhere which doesn't really impact anyone or anything apart from the target species, it's a mole trap.
Well, it is, but there is certain malt. I'm not on about any of the names that sell within the industry, but there are the crap on Amazon, etc. They should all be outlawed.
Yeah, there's some really crap Chinese and foreign copies coming, which just didn't have the power to kill.
A lot of the traps, the good traps on the market, although you just said that, a lot of them are made in China, but they're good. But they're good quality, strong traps.
That's right. And if they were to legislate on that wouldn't be a bad thing.
To get rid of all the crap.
The minute they start reviewing these things, as you'll know yourself, the people that are going to be asked to review these things aren't going to be you and me. They're going to be some graduate scientist working for DEFRA or SASA up here who has a preconceived misconception. I mean, I laughed at the wording that they used when it was in the media that this government animal welfare strategy was going to be happening. It was, there is concern about this trap, that. And I thought, so concerned by who? Who's concerned?
Don't say, do they?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's the same when we deal with Nature Scotland up here. 2020 was the last time that gulls were on the general licence up here.
Okay.
And if anything was an eye opener for how easily they can just legislate, it was through taking gulls off the general licence, just like that, without any consultation for the pest control world, any consultation for the HSE or anyone. And when I pressed them on this at an industry event and on the phone, our gull expert says that. Well, who's your gull expert? Oh, we can't divulge.
There you go. There you go. It's hopefully everything stays on the market, but the fen traps are a bit concerned about them, about the review.
If there's something at risk, it's the fen traps, 100%.
I was speaking to my mate, and he said it's something to do with the stoats in a fen trap.
Yeah,
they don't kill quick enough, apparently.
Yeah. Well, we're not allowed to use fen traps for stoats in Scotland.
I've never dealt with stoats. I just got told a few things off people.
I used to trap them for fun when I was a kid.
Yeah,
stoats and weasels and mink. But no, you need a. They're on a general license for spring trapping stoats now. And again,
you do a course, don't you, in Scotland now, don't you? A course. You need to do a course, don't you, in Scotland for that now? You do.
Spring trapping course, yeah. Well, everyone seems to have done the course, but the legislation hasn't changed because Nature Scotland hasn't got themselves sorted out. So we're all trained for something that hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
And by the time it does happen, we'll all have forgotten the training.
Well, yeah. You must do a refresher.
It really is a sad state of affairs, the way things are going with regards to the whole animal welfare. It's called animal welfare, but it's an animal rights agenda, and it's so politically charged. It's unbelievable. If it was animal welfare, and this is just a typical small example. If we can't kill a rabbit because it's no fair on the welfare of the rabbit, what about the welfare of the rat that's getting killed? And their argument will be that, well, yeah, but that's a public health pest.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, no, but it's still on it. But you're not talking about that because a rabbits could derail a train by burrowing into the embankment.
That's true.
You're saying we can't kill them with a dog or whatever because it's animal welfare.
Yeah.
So who decides where the line's drawn? And the problem is it's not us.
I mean, obviously, I've tried to. I've put my input in through my. I'm with the British Mole Catchers Register, so I've told them what I think, and I've told me obviously the MPTA trying to help as well. But at the end of the day, you can give them all the data, but as you look, what unfortunately happened with the glue boards, they didn't listen.
Yeah.
So hopefully they listen this time.
Yeah. That's why I get so nervous when any of these reviews come up, because the catalyst for the reviews came to somewhere. You know,
Yeah. They don't tell you, though, do they?
Yeah, we are concerned. Who's we? The guy that's just the Labour
It was
Party.
it was like Shaun was saying on their podcast. He's saying that it's like a creeper thing where like it's multiple charities over years apply pressure.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's not one individual party. It's that's. But you'll never find out who truly was the anchor that did it.
Yeah.
You won't.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
But that,
the minute one trap goes, for example, a fen trap, then it'll be, but a dog trap's got a spring. You know?
Oh, I hope none of them. I hope they have sense and just all the ones we use and us kept on the market because I think the fen's a very good trap, especially very good for squirrel.
Yeah, same.
And the WCSs are very good for squirrels too.
My go-to trap for squirrels in a domestic attic is still a Mark IV fen trap in a cube cage. Can't beat it.
Nice. I remember when I'm still learning them. To be fair, I haven't broke no fingers yet, but yeah.
I'll give you a little tip, and I'm not getting paid to say this at all. I don't even know the guy. Yeah. But there's a website called Trapman. I think it's trapman.co.uk. Yeah. And for a Mark IV fen trap, he sells these little wire cages that's got a lid on it, and it's got opening on top of the lid, and you put your fen trap in there. You put it on the floor of your attic, surround it with your insulation, and leave the top of it open. And I usually just put a dollop of peanut butter on top of the trap.
Funny you should say that. I think
always get really clean kills. Always.
Jason in chat, I think that's what he messaged me with. He said he'd seen it.
Yeah.
I think that's the one he was on about.
I can send you some images of the set traps and the result of where the squirrels caught.
Yeah.
You can't get a more humane kill. You really couldn't. And you could put about 4 of them in a tech bag, rather than having to lump a Cania or a DOC trap up into a loft, up a ladder,
Yeah, well, you got the quills as well, if you want to use them.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. I use quills round about my aviaries for my hawks, for rats and things. They're very good, yeah.
That's good to hear, that is. So you do a bit of birds of prey. Have you got any birds of prey?
Yeah. I've got a few. I've got 5 here at the house just now.
That's a big commitment because I had someone else on that does falconry, and it's I spoke to a few people, and it's a 365 days a year commitment.
100%.
And you got to think about when you go on holiday, all sorts. Who's going to look after them and things like that.
It's an absolute military operation, even going away for a week. It really is. I've done that. But again, I've done that prior to even being involved in pest control.
Yeah.
I had a really big fascination with birds of prey. One of my earliest memories when I was a young kid was buying a bird of prey book at I think it was like a second-hand shop that my gran used to take us to.
Yeah.
And, I was obsessed. And when I was about 12 or 13, as a gift for Christmas, my mother bought me an experience day out hunting with hawks.
Yeah.
With a company. And after that was me. I was absolutely hooked. And I've flown hawks since then. And it was only when I got involved with the pest control industry, with the first company that I worked for, I realised it was a thing. It was a thing you could charge money for.
A lot of waste management sites.
I do waste management sites, but not just. I do a variety of sites. Waste management sites, business parks, football stadiums, airport work. We do some airport work with hawks.
Nice.
It's really diverse. It's probably at the moment.
Why, Andrew? UK Patangs.
Say that again, sorry?
I was saying Andrew's in UK Patangs.
Oh, yeah. I've got a UK Patangs beanie hat. I'm sure Shaun sent me it not that long ago.
Yeah, I got one too. I did. It's in the van.
Yeah. But I think the hawking side of it used to be kind of 90% of our business, and it was the pest control stuff was 10. And I think it's 50-50 now between the wildlife stuff, pest control, and the hawking. I'm probably half my time's taken up with bird work still, flying birds. And the rest of it's kind of divided between the commercial stuff. A lot of waste management, pest control, which I've fell into through doing the bird control for these companies. But I mean, we do work.
Sorry. Do you do actual, like, when you say you do bird work, is it flying birds of prey, or do you actually do bird proofing jobs and things like that?
Yeah. But I'm not a big lover of bird proofing. No. I usually get a guy in to help me with that.
That's fair.
But we do netting and spiking, and I'll give you a fun fact. I've done the biggest installation of bird-free gel when it first came on the market in the UK. I done a huge job at a retail park in Edinburgh, which was the biggest at the time. So that was my claim to fame as far as proofing was concerned. But we offer absolutely everything. Mainstay of it though is still the target falconry.
Oh yeah, it's. Do you do any golf clubs with that? I imagine that's a good way, or do you not?
I do golf clubs for wildlife stuff, moles and foxes and things. I've never done any hawking on any of them yet, but no doubt it'll come.
Yeah, no, it's becoming a bigger. I've noticed it within the industry. More and more people are saying that they offer it or to get someone else in to do it for them.
Yeah. It's I mean, 20 years ago there was a handful, and now everyone's doing it. Which in certain respects is good because it gives it a bit of what's what I'm looking for. Everyone's more aware of it, and it's something they can offer their clients. But the more people that are doing it, the prices start to drop. The service levels sometimes aren't great. I was at a job this morning actually looking at a new contract, a large residential site in Edinburgh, very high end apartment blocks over quite a large area, a very large area in fact. And the previous contractor had it on for 12 visits a year. And that blew my mind. And there are so many people doing it now. It's almost like anyone with a Harris hawk can now offer bird control, whereas that is far from the case.
Was that what the previous company was doing? Hawking.
Yeah.
But 12 visits a year, so that's once a month.
Yeah.
Well, that won't work with it. From what I understand, it's got to be a regular basis.
And it never worked. It never worked. So, which is why they're no longer there. So
yeah, that's very good. From what I've learned so far from people coming on the podcast is you've got to go back on a regular basis.
Yeah,
you can't just go once a month.
Yeah, no, all jobs are different.
Yeah,
but it needs to be regular, and you need to really be putting pressure on the pest species, be it gulls or pigeons or whatever. And the problem as like we were talking about earlier, where pest control gets so commercialised and it becomes about sales rather than actually controlling pests.
Yeah.
As these large companies who offer hawking spread their guys too thin because it's about quantity portfolio rather than the quality of the work.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened with that job that I went to this morning, and they've lost it, and it's just I had this conversation with Shaun Mooney, because Shaun now has a guy who offers it. He came up here and spent some time with us, and we kind of went through the kind of start to finish, how the whole process works, and it really gets devalued sometimes in people's minds when it doesn't work. Like the chap this morning, for example, says, he said to me, it didn't work for us before when we tried it. If it was up to me and know that he was the kind of head of residence committee factor. He says, but they want it back. If it was up to me, we wouldn't try it again. And That's really, and I come across that a lot, and it's so frustrating, and what I say to people in that situation is, if you got a really bad electrician out to your house to do an electrical job, if you'd done a bad job, you wouldn't do away with electricity, would you?
No.
You would get someone in that knew what they were talking about. And I would probably say the majority of target falconry, bird control getting done in this country, there are some really, really good guys. There is, but the majority of them are it's quite a poor service delivery. It really is.
Well, it's got to be on like risk-based. You've got to base your work on risk hierarchy, and then tell them you need this amount of visits potentially, but you could need more. That's me guessing on what you need to do.
And like everything else, kind of integrated pest management, if you like. There are jobs which I've went to which we could have sold for a lot of money, but I knew by looking at them that they were going to fail because of X, Y, and Z. And that was always my big frustration working for the Nationals, is they would sell it absolutely anywhere. If they couldn't sell a net, they would sell hawking. If they couldn't sell hawking, they would sell egg and nest removal. Like they sold me a job right, like within 10 feet of a high-speed railway, and then criticised me because I wouldn't fly my hawk.
Oh, okay.
And it's laughable now thinking about it, these years later, but that will still be going on, in that world.
It is crazy because I don't remember who it was. Don't quote me on it. But someone did a bird job or netting job. It was in London. I can't remember who it was. And the client was turned up saying, basically, the National had charged 100 grand for this job. And the client turned around and told the guy doing it how much he'd paid.
Yeah.
And he went, what? They only paid me 10 grand to do this.
Yeah.
Damn.
So common. So common.
They sub it out.
Yeah.
But he was miffed. He was like, they only paid me 10 grand for this.
I don't know about you, but I don't think I've ever seen a net installation on top of a building that looked good. They make buildings look terrible. They're ugly, And I'm a hawking guy, I spend half my time in the golf season persuading people not to put nets up. They're so expensive, they look bad, and 9 times out of 10 they didn't stand up to the British weather. I think there's a real skills shortage in the UK, also of people who can carry out netting. Again, and there are some really great guys out there doing it to a really high standard, but there's also a lot of guys out there who are doing a really shit job.
I don't do bird work, so I can't talk. I don't do any of that. I don't.
Yeah.
But
no, you might do one day. You never know.
Well, it's not on my website. We've got a new website. I took it off. We're getting asked. Like sometimes we were thinking about dubbing the solar panels out, but then you'd never get the job anyway.
Yeah.
Half the time.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had an inquiry for a solar panel job.
God, they're everywhere.
And I've been in business 16 years this year, and I've never had an inquiry for bed bugs, and I've never had an inquiry for solar panels, not once.
No? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you had you do, I suppose, a stupid question, but I don't suppose you do wasp nest, do you? If you don't do insects.
I did do, and I've got the stuff for doing wasp nests, but I done 4 last year, and it was all for friends and family.
Oh, okay.
I just haven't. The summer period is my busiest time of year with gulls and bird control, and I really can't dispense with really kind of large hawking contracts to go and do a 70 quid wasp nest.
God, you're too cheap.
And that's expensive for guys around here.
Yeah. Goodness, you're cheap. Yeah. That's a whole argument in itself, isn't it?
That's another podcast on its own. Yeah.
It is, yeah. They did one last year on it, didn't they?
They did.
They did. That was funny, that was.
Yeah.
And they were inviting people that were being keyboard boys in the chat to come on, and they wouldn't come on.
That's right. Of course they won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's
As long as human beings are involved with money, there will always be people who charge next to nothing.
oh yeah, I don't get it. It's business, not charity.
100%.
It
100%.
is. But,
No one's hobby. It's no one's hobby.
Exactly. But what else? So we've covered quite a bit, I reckon. We have.
Yeah.
We have. Tools. What were your go-to tools then in wildlife, apart from your hawk? Because obviously that's your main thing.
So the hawking side, the most important tools I use apart from the hawk for the control side of things is a handheld electronic distress collar.
Oh, okay.
So the hawks that we use usually fall into two categories.
Yeah.
You get what's called a safe bird, which is a hawk which has never been taught to kill anything.
Okay.
You get killing birds, which is a falconry bird in the true sense, which is a bird which hunts quarry or pests in our industry. It's really, really difficult to fly a killing bird legally now because we can't kill gulls. Okay. It's also some of the places where we are using these birds. You really wouldn't want your bird killing a bird there anyway, another bird there anyway, because usually you're in full view of the public.
Camera phones.
Vein of my life. So safe birds are usually what we as our go-to tool, and we need to. You almost need to up the fear response because gulls, especially, but most birds will learn to start to ignore a hawk which isn't trying to kill them.
Oh, okay.
So we use the distress collars while the hawk's flying about, and I've even been known to throw a dummy dead gull up in the air and let the hawk kill it.
Oh, okay.
So the distress collar, after that, the GPS tracker that the hawks use, in case they decide to leave us, it's probably the next. It's probably more important than the distress collar, to be honest. After that, it's just general husbandry for the bird, travel boxes, hawking vests, gloves, you name it. Wildlife management wise, firearms obviously a big part of wildlife management. Yeah, we've got full centre fire rifles, all the new technology that goes with that.
Do you get sent all the stuff that Stuart Blair does? He's got all these thermals and all this. He makes videos on YouTube, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And Instagram as well, doesn't he?
He's got all the toys, absolutely all the toys, and I get to share them sometimes when he's finished. But no, we use night vision, thermal, motion sensor cameras are going to be and are already huge in wildlife management.
Yeah, they are.
So that's
they're
probably
getting cheap, aren't they? They're getting really cheap. Like you can get some trail cameras like only 40-50 quid.
Yeah. I'm trialing one at the moment, which is I don't know. Everyone uses the Reolink cameras. Yeah. But Reolink also does a camera called the Ranger.
Does it?
Which is a camo version, and it's a pan and tilt camera that you can move about. Rather than the Reolink just being set at an angle.
Yeah.
So I use them a lot, and I'm currently testing a copy of that camera, which is 40 quid. You know.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
And it's just as good. 300
just
quid
as
job.
Good. Oh, good.
Just as good as a 300 quid job, yeah. So cameras are a big thing in wildlife management, and will continue to be. Big changes coming for that kind of thing. Is we're going to be using non-lead ammunition in rifles shortly, which, in my opinion, we're not really ready for. But you can't sell deer to the public that's fully lead. What other traps? Traps wise, my go-to traps for rat control is without a doubt the black cat. Fen trap still, Victor trap still. Squirrels, as I said earlier, is the Mark IV Fen trap.
Yeah.
Cania traps outside in trees. The WCS tube traps, fantastic, but expensive. Can be hard to find.
They are. They're so good, but they're not cheap.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the dock traps as well, the DOC traps, the 150 and the 200.
I've seen them. I haven't actually got any, but I
Yeah.
have seen them.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. The thing that puts me off is the price and the weight and the size. They have their place, and as I say, I use them here in quill boxes, and they're very good for where you're talking about animal welfare and humane standards. They didn't feel a thing in that. The big DOC 200 traps, they just get annihilated.
Yeah.
So they're very good. What else? I do very little live catch trapping these days. I do a bit of urban fox trapping. Live catch trapping. As far as squirrels and other things are concerned, I just didn't find it very humane having a squirrel rattling about on occasion someone's loft. They usually make a racket and you get a phone call at midnight anyway, so I would rather have them dead in a trap.
We stopped. We haven't done that in a long time. We just go for the traps now.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my kind of go-to bundle. The most expensive and one of the most important things I use now for everything is my thermal imaging monocular. I use it in deer management, fox management, general pest control. I use it when I'm flying my hawk so I can target birds which are hiding in rafters and stuff. I use it all the time. And it's a very interesting thing for the customer to watch you flying a hawk, which is something which is 4,000 years old, you know.
Yeah.
And then you're using a thermal imager at the same time, you know. So yeah, that's my go-to equipment, probably.
So when you got the bird, what's the thermal imager on in your hand? Or are you saying the thermal image is on the bird? No?
The thermal imager is just a monocular which is strapped round about me, and I can.
Right, like that. Okay.
Yeah. I do a local authority waste management site, which is very high roofs, old pitched roofs like that, and the lights all hang below them. So if there's birds in the shed, they're in the darkness above.
Okay.
So I will go in with the thermal imager first, have a look to see what it's about, bring the hawk in, and I know exactly where the hawk needs to be going, you know.
Okay. That's a good tool.
We use laser pointers. We train the hawks to follow laser pointers.
Okay.
So if a hawk's like the hawk can't see up there either, you know. Their eyesight is very, very good, but they can't see in the dark.
Okay.
So if I've seen a pigeon up in this dark corner, and it might only be like a tiny little bit head and a beak, I point that laser pointer at that corner, and that's where the hawk's going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jason says, I have a remote control gimbal that goes on top of the truck with the thermal attached to it.
Yeah, I've got one as well. A fantastic bits of kit.
He goes night shooting. He does with his friend. He's massively into it.
Yeah. They're great. I think they're basically just adapted now from they're specifically for thermal imagers now, but it's the old gimbal for the cameras, you know. Like the wedding photographers and stuff used to use with the remote. But they're fantastic on the roof of the vehicle, and you set it up with your iPad inside, especially with the weather we get in Scotland.
Yes, we get some really bad weather. More than us.
I do a 4,500 acre estate up in the Pentland Hills for fox management. It's a big. We're in for the Nest and Bird project, but it's a big sheep farm as well. And literally, if we never had that bit of equipment, you wouldn't be able to. Even if you had the best gloves in the world on, you wouldn't be able to feel your hands half the time you pull the trigger. You know. So it's been a game changer.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's a cold place, Scotland. Wet.
especially right now.
Yeah. I can't hear it now.
Yeah, it's still going.
Well, I can't hear it because I switched on in your microphone. Oh no, it's back off now. Reduce background noise. I can't hear it.
Yeah.
But I think my microphone's about. It's a bit. I say it. It's been fine for a while. Now I've talked about it. It's come back. But it's fine. But no,
things.
Oh, no idea what's happened. But mostly, I think it's been okay. It has.
Good.
But, is there any? What's it called? Wait a minute. What's the best bit of advice you've ever been given for yourself?
Wow, there's a question. Oh, wow.
Or if you could give out some good advice, you know.
Is this specifically pest related or just life advice in general?
Well, it can be either if you want. It can.
Yeah. When I started my career in pest control,
Yeah.
very knowledgeable guy who I still respect, I'm not going to name him because he'll be embarrassed,
Okay.
said to me, says, do not forget the people who you meet on the way up because you meet them on the way back down again. And it's always wrong, very true in my mind. I think he knew I was going to be self-employed eventually, so
I think you're right, because there's a lot of people that
yeah,
can be arseholes to people in a job where you don't think down the line they could lose the job, and that
100%.
person you're a dickhead to could be your new boss.
100%.
You know? True.
So that's probably one of the best bits of advice. Yeah.
It is true. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's been a good podcast. It has.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on.
No, it's been a pleasure to have you on.
I can't
Have you
believe
got
it's
any other-
10 o'clock.
It is, isn't it? Well, do you want some CPD, Jason, and everyone? There you go. Put that into the British Pest Register 1990.
Yeah.
You'll get 1.5 points. Once I've done it, though, give me a chance to actually do it. But
Yeah.
and eventually, at some point, you'll all get basis prompt points. But I've got to create a list first of what I've done, etc. It's too hard to do it on their website.
Yeah.
But that's why there'll be a delay on the basis prompt points, but they will come. But I can give as many as I want with the British Pest Register. It's easy.
Brilliant.
But to be fair, with the British Pest Register, when Shaun forgets to do it, which is a lot, he admitted it to me, you can still self-register the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't.
That's right.
That's a good thing with it. But no, thanks for coming on.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
No, it's been good. How do you who would you like to see on the podcast in the future?
Oh, who would I like to see? Has Mr. Blair been on? Has Stuart Blair been on?
He hasn't, no. I have to see if I can get him on, because I was messaging him on Instagram and I didn't realise it was him. It was Vermin something control or something.
Vermin control
And
Scott.
and in the end, he did say, yeah, it's Stuart.
Yeah,
did.
I give him a shout because he'd be good.
He
Who
definitely
else?
would be.
Who else would I like to see? I'm a big Bobby Corrigan fan. He was on Shaun's, the rodentologist.
I know. I would need Stuart Blair's help to get someone like that.
He's the man to speak to because him and Bobby are good mates.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you got Stuart
that
on,
that podcast is worth re-listening to. That was amazing. He's the guru.
I could listen to that guy talk about rats for hours.
I tried to add him on.
He's a nice guy as well. He's a nice guy and he's passionate about it.
Oh no, he definitely is.
Yeah.
But,
So that would probably be my two. Or someone dog-wise. I've got a detection dog for rodents, she's not fully trained yet, but she'll get there. So anyone
You're like Shaun then. You're like Shaun. Shaun's training his dog.
Yeah.
As well.
Shaun's copied me. I've influenced Shaun instead of Shaun influencing everyone else.
Well, so when someone puts their bins out, influencer, you've influenced Shaun.
I've influenced the influencer.
Yeah, you've influenced the influencer.
I'll get a phone call tomorrow now about that.
I'm going to make sure that hopefully the clicks come out just right. And that's the first clip that's going up. 100%. If I can get one with Shaun the influencer.
Alas.
But no, thanks for coming on. And
no worries.
I'll see everyone next week. But if you sound a lot on the call for a minute, I'll just end the stream.
Yeah.
But thanks everyone. Code 1990 on the British Pest Register. but give me a chance before you log it. So to do it. But yeah, thanks everyone, and I'll see you next week.